climate change has the potential to increase poverty. Agricultural vulnerabilities caused by the changing temperature and rainfall pattern are expected to play a significant role in pushing people back into poverty. In Cambodia, monsoon rainy season starts from May to October. There is a higher risk of flooding in 4 months from July to October. Serei Saophoan is a city belonging to Banteay Meanchey province, where a higher flood risk rate was recorded. A large-scale flooding in 2013 reveals Cambodia's vulnerability to flood with a high proportion of damages. The flood map in 2013 highlights the flooded areas in south and east in Serei Saophoan. Taking flood issues at the starting point, adaptive capacities are in need to be found through analysis. There is a high density of settlements located between the main roads and the railway. Urban sprawling happens along with the development of the infrastructures, the ring. However, the south of the railway remains forgotten from the development. Two strategic points are chosen due to its striking location where possibilities are found to improve the site situation. The project site situates next to the city center, and the railway remains a barrier in between. In the city center, the built environment is highly appreciated with modern materials and high-rise houses, whereas the settlements along the railway show their adaptations to the living conditions. The existing houses in the sites also show its adaptation to deal with the flood risk. Houses are built higher to deal with the water rises, and some inhabitants live right next to the existing reservoir. A green corridor along the water is proposed in order to prevent earth erosions caused by flooding and benefits the neighborhood with fruity productions. Taking advantage of the existing reservoir, cut and fill strategies is applied to extend the water surface and level up the nearby land. This helps reducing the risk of flooding inside the neighborhoods. A new street system is proposed based on the existing paths. The goal is to connect the unfinished paths and improve local mobility, but barely disturb the existing green fabric. Depicting from the analysis is the organization of housing, in which housing takes place first, then comes the accessibility, surrounded by green space, vacant space, and unused space. The fragmented land use and living environments are created in that manner. This fragmentation creates a waste of space. The new settlement organization will create a sequence of housing aligned with the streets. The sequence can be broken by the inhabitants by changing the house setback for the traditional front yard gateway, or the orientation of the house. The goal of the proposal is to seek for a sustainable solution physically and socially. Dealing with the flooding is the starting point of the project, while creating a healthy, traditional, and beneficial living community is the backbone. The main street is defined by its importance to the neighborhoods. Many facilities are found along the streets, such as local shops, factories, pagodas. There are two main housing typologies, along with three productive backyard landscapes: urban gardens, bamboo forests, and traditional rice fields. The project highlights bamboo as the main monitor for housing construction and economic driven. Because this is a fast-growing type, a traditional picture of Khmer dance, a good craftsmanship material, a strong and low-cost material for architectural structures that is used in many Asian countries. Built environments in the projects use bamboo as the main material to save the material costs, encourage local builders, and create an identity to the sites. Bamboo is used as the main material to construct the houses. Special layout following the typical rural housing layout in Cambodia, with one module of grid consists by 3 multiplied by 3 meter. Basic houses using 4 modules. Bamboo is also the material to build beams, columns, and roofs. Meanwhile, the foundation is made out of concrete. Roof material can be changed into palm leaves as alternative. The wall is made from prefabricated bamboo with different patterns. The basic house can grow organically depending on the user needs. The house is extended when the family members increase. To answer the need of clean and healthy community life, the housing uses biogas digester for waste management. Air is drawn off into the house through widely spaced bamboo slats. Permeable cladding promotes cross-ventilation. Warm air gathering at roof peak is drawn out through a gap between roofs. The other type of housing is the wet houses that are located next to the eco-reservoir. It has longer columns for flood anticipation. The bracing structure was inspired by the housing in Tonle Sap. The main housing layout is still following the typical basic house, but the wet house have an extra modules for veranda that can be used for workshop, fish farming, or vegetable farming. By having the module system, we can create different topologies of building that are specific for our projects, from small storage to waste station and bamboo treatment facility. Community Center also uses bamboo as the main material, but it does not follow the modular system. The building has a more complex roof structure. The roof design is inspired by the traditional Khmer house. The idea is to preserve the traditional housing typology.